finally hit that big milestone, level 65. This is the no BS ultimate endgame checklist for what's next in your New World journey. I'm talking main story, gear score grind, heart runes, artifact farming, and crafting. And yeah, I'll even give you some of the best loot spots. Sadly, yes, dailies are still a thing. Even in 2025, boys, we still gotta put that work in like a second job. You got questions? Drop them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, smash that like button and subscribe, or New World will be disabling another zone. You've been warned. F's in the chat, boys, for first light. Alright, let's get you geared and ready to smash New World Eternum's hardest content. Step 1, let's finish that main story quest line. If you don't finish your main story quest, you'll be stranded at the gate like a lost puppy. Open up your map, boom, we're locked out of Elysian Wild. There's a whole juicy zone down here. So how do we get into this big boy zone? Well, you gotta push the main story quest all the way through Brimstone. Eventually you'll craft a special coating that lets you pass into Elysian Wilds. But we're not stopping there, boys. Oh no, we're doubling down. We're going all the way until we grab the best PvE artifact in the whole game. The Atune Leather Pan. Put these on, boys, and your damage will skyrocket higher than your own self-esteem. Without them, you're probably not going to get into Worm or Gorgon raids, since they're basically the ticket for that ride. And for most endgame PvE content, you cannot skip this one, boys. For DPS, it's a must. For healers, it's solid. For tanks, it's a drop it in the fire type moment. But overall, it's still a must-have. And speaking of must-haves, let's jump straight into our next step. Let's jump into heart runes. These things really allow to make your build have a whole another layer to it. So first, open up your map, brothers. Come over here to Brimstone Stands. I recommend picking this guy up, as this quest is very important for progressing the game as well. It's not for the heart rune, but it's still an extra piece of side content that's heavily worth doing. After that, gonna make a beeline it to the top of these stairs. After a guy is dying from exhaustion, we want to open up this portal right here. You'll have to translate an ancient glyph to get through. It's a little bit of hard work, but as long as you've been doing your stuff in Brimstone, everything should work out a-okay. Once the portal is ready for us to teleport, we want to send it through that boy to come out the other side looking like a god. And then over here on the right hand side, there'll be this beautiful lady kneeling on the floor. Pat her on the head, talk to her, do a couple errands for her. She'll send you out on a journey that will lead you over here to the Great Wall of Nibbit. You'll have to do a few quests for her over here. It'll be quite the journey. Pack some snacks and enjoy the ride. After that, you'll unlock your heart rune slot. Now, boys, we finally have some options. For heart runes that you can easily acquire, I recommend Stone Heart Rune Form, just solid, my favorite all-around heart rune. Gives you a lot of extra survivability and some healing on the side. Who wouldn't want it? If you like big bombas, you have to do a need here. It gets you detonate. Where you get Stone Rune, by the way, Lazarus. You don't have to do mutated dungeons for any heart rune. You just have to kill the final boss. After we have our heart rune, let's say we want to upgrade it. How do we do that? Let's travel back to Ebonscale. So now that we're in Ebonscale, come to your nearest stone cutting table. You can do this in any town. I just like Ebonscale. Look at this beautiful city, by the way. My favorite city in all of New World. So make sure we come into our inventory before we even get into the stone cutting table, as it has to be not only unequipped, but it has to be not locked. So we have to unlock the heart rune, as so. Open up the stone cutting table. This is very important to upgrade your heart runes, as it basically is like adding another ability to them. So you want to make sure you upgrade these as fast as possible. When you open up the stone cutting table, it'll now give you a bunch of stuff that you need to acquire in order to upgrade it. Each heart rune is completely different and what it will take. But generally, a good rule of thumb is most of them will take lodestone, sulfur, or they will take writs. Writs you can do by doing quests around Brimstone. Corrupted lodestone, I recommend just buying these off the market, as farming these can be quite annoying, as these come from major breaches. Sulfur you can definitely farm if you're feeling like a little bit of a miner today. And now that we've upgraded our heart rune, we've become insanely strong, much stronger than we were before. Let me down know in the comments below, what's your favorite heart rune to rock and roll with? Mine's still stone form. I like soaring into the air like a bird and saying caca. Alright, brothers and sisters, this is where the real grind begins. Welcome to the gear grind, the heart and soul of New World's endgame. Let's dive in. First up, we got mutations. Open up your activity tab. Out mutated expeditions. you'll see the weekly rotation with different mutations. Each one brings up unique challenges and sweet rewards. Every dungeon also has its own artifact and is guaranteed snagging that shiny piece. You gotta run the dungeon at least 5 times a week. Yeah, so I know grinding 15 dungeons sounds fun as watching paint dry, but trust me, those artifacts are going to be worth it, especially if you need it for your best in slot build. Unless you're lucky like some people and get it early, RNG never has loved me. Me and him have always been arch rivals. Plus, you also get these insanely valuable mount charms, which are pretty strong. Snag the ones you want before they're gone. Now about these dungeons, they're split into 3 tiers: M1, M2, M3. M3 being the beast that really tests your skill. M1 and 2 though, a walk in the park compared. You can look at the mutation symbol in the corner so you know exactly what you're going to be up against this week. If it's frost, you better stack ice resist and bring your winter jacket because it's about to get chilly. Hometown Canada, boys. Next, if you're seeing people in the chat spamming Merc or World Tour in chat, don't worry, it's a good thing. They're calling for an elite chest run. Basically, a speed run to grab free gear with no cost but your time. It's one of the fastest and easiest way to score loot, schematics, and sometimes some rare golden scarabs that can sell for a pretty penny, and your pocket will thank me later. If you're new, chest runs will probably be your best friends as they're free, low effort, and they pack some good rewards. Plus, it's like rolling the slot machine. Sometimes you're gonna hit it big and you're gonna come out bone dry. Just depends on your RNG. If you got some extra money in your pocket, I recommend coming over to the trade post, hitting this button right here, going to gear score range, hit 680, that's pretty high. Add perk, we want Enchanted Ward, as this is good on everything. This is the absolute best perk in the entire game for both PvE and PvP. So it's a must-have piece. Keep an eye on the market, just scroll down. Sometimes you'll find an absolute steal because new players are in the game just like you and they don't know how much gear is actually worth. So make sure you're always checking the market every few days, as you could easily make not only a profit but get best in slot gear for a fraction of the cost. If the RNG is not on your side, brothers, it's time to head over to our faction vendor. We want to level up our faction all the way. Click on rewards here and scroll all the way down to the bottom. Always pick up your gypsum orbs, as these are a must-have currency for upgrades and crafting in the late game. If you can, I would also start stacking up on a few chromatic seals, and these are also crucial. I would have at least 3 on you at all times, no matter what. It is expensive, I know, so you better get to grinding. But the main reason why we're here is for faction gear. This is a cheap, efficient way to get gear if you're having no luck, as it comes with ward, health, and refreshing. Solid perks all around. And you don't want to pass this up. It is a bit pricey at 1k. That's why I recommend checking first. And finally, the Wishing Well. This little beauty might be the best place in town for the loot you can grab. You can open up your map, boys. And travel over to Cutlass Keys. Alright, now that we're in Cutlass Keys, let's open up our map, and your Wishing Well will be right here. Head over to the Wishing Well. Don't worry, there's plenty of boxes to open, many gear to acquire. First thing is you want to grab your glittering golden key. This will cost you 5 doubloons. You can open up your map afterwards, travel to this way shrine or this one, whichever one you're feeling fancy with today. There'll be a box right here, a chest. You can open that bad boy up. You'll get 500 doubloons. For investing 5, that's what I call stonks going up, boys. Big gains. And when you finally become rich, you can purchase an artifact. I personally don't like these, and I'm too broke. I'm already living in a cardboard box, and I can't afford this type of luxury lifestyle. Maybe you can't one day. Me? Nah. Now let's scroll down to our weaponry. You can get a really good 710 weapon super early on in the game, as this only will cost you 750 doubloons. So if you have no idea where to get your first early game weapon, and you're struggling to find anything that's viable, the Wall of Fortune is your homeland. I'll show you how to get doubloons here shortly, so don't worry. There's a few methods, and I got you covered. Now that we picked our dream weapon, and weaponry, and trinket crates, there's a bunch, so pick whichever one you need the most on your gear. Roll it. It goes all the way up to 725. It can come in light, medium, or heavy, so keep that in mind. This is dependent on loot bias. What does loot bias mean? Let me explain this very important mechanic for you guys. If I'm wearing a light helmet, that means anytime I open up a crate in New World or a random drop that's not named or an artifact, the OnStar, it will always be a light helmet since I'm wearing light, and your highest attribute, so me, deck. So that means like 80 to 90% of the time I open up a crate, it'll be light dex for my helmet. That goes for all your pieces of gear, so make sure you have the correct stuff on and the correct attributes before you open a crate. Next up, trinkets. These are just random. Pick these bad boys up though. I have a few really good farming spots for trinkets, so stay tuned for that. Next up, make sure you're picking up your gypsum orbs, as these are insanely valuable later on into the game. You'll be kicking yourself later in the booty if you don't do this. Grabbing some dark matter here is also super viable if you're just starting out, since getting dark matter is hard for new players. And if you want to make some extra coin, I recommend opening up these trade skill bone boosting meals. And my guy hasn't been fed in weeks, and he's hungry like a ravaged dog. We'll open up a grilled tenderloin and vegetables. This will increase our luck by 2,500 for 40 minutes. If you want, you can go over to the marketplace right over there and sell it for a bit of extra coin. It's a quick side hustle if your pockets have nothing but dust in them. So how exactly do we make doubloons? Well, you want to X up in chat when people are doing the doubloon run. You'll travel to this way shine right here, and you'll do a full chest run through this entire zone. This will give you an absolute insane amount of doubloons, about 500-ish, maybe a bit more, depending on how far your group really wants to go. There's something else I gotta mention while we're here, and that is the coconut. This thing is crucial for your end game loop, as you'll only grab one of these a week. Best way to grab that is to travel to this way shine right here, and then you want to go down to the PvP zone. You will have to fight players if they engage, but don't worry, we're a scaredy cat, and I'm gonna give you the sneaky way. Travel down here, and there should be no one in the zone. Loot in here. Any chest has a chance to give you a coconut. If that's not working, travel to this way shrine, and then travel through this whole zone like this and loot in the back like this. There should be literally no one here. I've never seen a soul in this zone. Over here, and then the next most popular area will generally be here and then here. So now that you got your coconut, that is crucial for upgrading your artifacts to 725, so do not skip out on that. You need to be getting that every week. As right now you can see, I only have 2, and I've been playing this game so much my eyes bleed. Now that we know, let me show you how to upgrade gear real quick, as this is very important. Let's travel back over to Ebon Scale. Alright, now that we've traveled to the gypsum kiln, it's time to learn how to upgrade our gear. First off, open it up. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Here you'll find the artifacts of choice. You'll need an armor matrix, dark matter, gypsum orbs, chromatic seal, and if you want to go to 725, one big coconut. So it's very expensive to upgrade your gear to 725, and you have to choose the third perk. Make sure you research this well, as it's very expensive and I don't want you to be wasting your money and time. It's valuable. I have many times before. I'm here to help you prevent that, as generally each piece of gear will always have their best in slot. You can also, while you're in here, get stuff from dungeons that you've had a hard time farming. So I've done Glacial Tarn more times than I can possibly count, and I only can count to 5. If I need an extra piece of Glacial Tarn, I can use my materia and buy it here in the gypsum kiln. While you're here as well, you can scroll up and grab some gypsum orbs, as these are once again very important. I mean, I can make 79 of these. I'm gonna be rich. Now, how about the cache of golden matter? This gives you 1500 gold, 250 dark matter. I think as an early game player, you should always buy this. You can get only 1 a week. As long as you're doing your dailies, getting your gypsum orbs, this shouldn't be too much of a deficit for your orb count, as that gold and dark matter are invaluable for you. What is your guys' favorite artifact to upgrade and why? My favorite artifact right now, hands down, Crescent Wave. The thing is an absolute beauty, and I'm loving it. Speaking of artifacts, guys, it's time to get some. I'm going to give you a few artifacts that you must have for pretty much every build. Like I mentioned earlier, Mutations will always have their own unique artifact inside of them. Head over to Starstone Barrels. This one has Blood Drinker, my all-time favorite artifact in the entire game, the Blood Drinker. I recommend picking this one up, as it turns you into an unkillable demon. Lots of lifesteal, lose some damage, but hey, nothing can hurt you if you keep healing that damage back. Next up, pick up that Crescent Wave Greatsword. Open up your Season Pass. You're gonna have to do all the way up to level 20 to unlock it. Don't worry, I have a full guide in the description below, so make sure to click it if you want to know how to level up your Season Pass fast and efficiently. And while you're down there, smash that like button and subscribe, boys. What are you doing? I'm giving you some of the best New World content out here, and every sub helps my self-esteem grow even higher. And I have, right now, no self-esteem, so you gotta help me out, boys. How about more important artifacts? Well, the finisher is a must. You grab it over here in the Isles. You have to farm a couple mammoths, kill a couple children. Don't worry, CPS won't be called on you, because there'll be no witnesses when you kill the mother. And once the mother is dead, you'll drop the finisher. The finisher here, absolute banger. Highly recommend picking this up if you want to be top DPS in your squad. Tempest Fury. You can get this from completing major breaches in Mirkgard or anywhere on the map. You'll do these corrupted portals while doing a chest run. So make sure you're always doing a chest run, as this is a great way to get another free artifact. Also for tanks, don't worry, I got you. I recommend doing BB down here. Best artifact in the game for tanking in my opinion. Here it is. 20% armor increase. Enchanted Ward. What more could you want? I know what you want. A hug from me. And you're not getting one. Now that we've covered the most basic artifacts in the game and what you should prioritize, it's time to head on to the next thing, crafting and gathering. Crafting in New World just got a massive buff this patch, as now you're able to craft fully 725 gear score. Me? I can't do that. I know, I'm a pleb. But what you want to do to level up your crafting is come over here to whatever your heart desires. You'll then see down here at the bottom, you'll see first time craft bonus. This is the fastest way to level up any crafting skill in the entire game. Do not sleep on this. This is a must in order to level up your crafting. The Sunly Festival template here, it can take Night Veil templates, it can take whatever templates. You can get these from dungeons, doing the story, doing the event across the world, whatever it takes, man. Make sure you're getting your first crafts. This is the cheapest, most efficient way to level it up. Once you're done that, make sure you click on Unown, as this will show you everything you can craft it with. This allows you to craft it with the cheapest material possible on all counts. The only material that will always be locked is the top one. So Orichalcum sucks, but we have to spend it. But the other two we can get as cheap as possible. You want to do this across all your crafting, whether that be weaponsmithing, armoring, jewelry crafting. Make sure you do that for everything, and this will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Do not sleep on this. Now that we know how to level up our crafting like a goat, which crafting profession should I focus on? That's a great question. I recommend, if you want to make pure money, pure moolah, always do anything that crafts a consumable. So this would be honing stones and weaponsmithing, potions and arcana, or food and cooking. If you want to be Gordon Ramsay and your Iron Chef needs are met, it's time to cook it up, rev up those fire, boys. Let's up those numbers, because we're about to be making some good money. Nothing is better, in my opinion, than making consumables for $1. If you want to craft your own gear, armoring is the best way to go, as it allows you to craft all 5 pieces of gear, and it will make a good chunk of change on the side. After that, jewelry, it's kind of mid. Weapons, also mid, generally because one of these is always an artifact, which greatly reduces supply and demand. And most of the time, jewelry and weapons can be farmed with high efficiency. So quick recap, money, consumables, yourself, armoring, as 7.2 armor is very possible. It just costs a lot of money if you're not selling it. A few couple tips and tricks while we're out there gathering. Make sure you have your trade food, and make sure you have the right tools for the job. Each tool will have its own unique perks. I recommend always looking for alacrity, mining efficiency, yield, a moat, as moats sell for a good chunk of change, and luck, as you get some rare resources such as gems and other components that can sell for more money. And let's be honest, I'm giving you a lot of ways to make coin. So while I'm making you all this money, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And while you're at it, drop a comment down below. What's your favorite money strategy, so I can steal it and finally get out of poverty? Alright boys, it's time for that rapid fire session. Open up your faction inventory. You'll have 3 bonus dailies. These give you a good amount of gold and allow you to get insane amount of reputation per day. I recommend doing the PvP missions in Reekwater, as they are the most efficient way to do it, in my opinion, for your 3 dailies. Next up, a couple places that give insane amount of good gear. Right here, Life Ring. Life Ring gear is super good to farm if you have some extra time. I still run the Life Ring amulet, as it comes with divines and health. Pretty much best in slot for DPS builds. Only problem is its low gear score, but besides that, the perks on here are phenomenal. Then, if you guys want the best earring in the game for medium and heavy builds, come over here to Eden Grove. Farm right here. There'll be a guy there that looks like he's on steroids. He'll drop this absolute beaut of an earring. Fortifying toes, refreshing toes, and regenerating. Who doesn't love free potions and some free HP? That's what I call a 2-for-1 deal. If you guys are playing range, I recommend coming over to Brimstone Stands and farming Syncratic. Syncratic is super strong. Only downside is its 700 gear score, but it's pretty much best in slot until you complete Hive of Gorgon, so do keep that in mind. And that ends the rapid session. In this episode of House Hunter, I'm going to be showing you why it's time to open up that real estate menu and get back into getting some property. Houses in New World are extremely important as they give you many different buffs and storage. For your first house, I recommend putting it as your base of operations. Here, you want to buy the most expensive house you can afford, presumably $20,000. As your first house comes with a discount. On top of that, if your faction owns the area, discount. If you're in a company that owns the area, discount. So sometimes if you're feeling lucky, ask the company if you can join their company just for a few minutes to buy a house. You'll even offer to pay them a bit of coin in order to get the discount on your first house. Once you've acquired your first house, I recommend buying 2 5K houses as they're just going to be primarily there to hold your trophies. Trophies, very strong, as these give you damage bonus to all enemy types in the game, and they stack really fast across 3 houses. You want to aim for the blue ones. I'm in poverty, poor, and then a man in a cardboard box, so I can't afford the blue ones, I just have green. But if you can, blue is a good place to stop. The purple ones aren't generally worth it in my opinion, as they're way too expensive for the damage gain. While you're there, you can also put storage chests in your house, increasing your overall storage in that respective zone. That's why for crafter and gatherers, getting a expensive health with 3 chests is crucial, because all the things you're going to be looting and collecting, you're going to need it. Trust me, man. I've been there. You can also decorate the house to whatever style you like. It doesn't really do anything, but hey, if you like something fancy, go for it. Now that your house is in control, if you are ever wondering why someone who looks like they're an AI doing so much damage and surviving, it's probably because they're taking the right consumables. Make sure you always have your coatings for dungeons and group content such as Worm and Gorgon, as these give you a 15% increased damage to that respective enemy type. This is huge for your overall DPS. And survivability, you can also bring a ward potion in for that respective enemy type. This will increase your damage absorption by 10%. 40 minutes. These are huge. Always recommend picking these up before you enter a dungeon or any type of content, as these give you so much survivability. And with that, that's going to wrap up our guide here today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe. Huge shout out to my YouTube channel member, Darksy, my brother in arms. If you guys want to become a YouTube channel member, you can as well. Always would appreciate the support, as I do need that to further my love for New World. And with that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.